Make sure we're recording. Hello everyone. So I keep seeing all these tier lists pop up, and I just gotta say that some of them are garbage. I decided to rank other people's tier lists in my own tier list. I think it started with Super Smash Brothers. The gamers would say, these characters are better than these characters. Oh, I just realized that this tier list went from S, S, A, D. Shouldn't there be B and C? First tier list is the Tetris tier list. We have the line piece and the T piece in the S tier. Now, some of you might be thinking, really, James? The T piece is in par with the line piece? And I would say, yeah, because you can do T spins. The T piece is kind of like both of the Z pieces put together, if that makes sense. Say you have a Tetris board like this. The green piece can only go here, and the red piece can only go here. But if you had a T piece can go here, or a T piece can go there. So we are putting this tier list in the S tier, where it belongs. Next, we have iDubbbz's fast food tier list, and in his tier list, he put Subway. He put Subway in the F tier. Now, understandably, I wouldn't say Subway is as good as Chipotle or In-N-Out. But F tier, really? Dairy Queen, like, I like their milkshakes, so again, don't really like that it's in the bottom tier. Five Guys is not S tier, I'm sorry. It's good, but not better than everything else. Not the worst thing in the world, but we're putting it in the D tier. Next, we have the Review of the Week's food tier list. If you don't know who Review of the Week is, definitely check him out. He is a great man. I want to meet him someday. Every day I try to be like Review Bruh. But in his tier list, once again, he put Subway at the bottom tier and Dairy Queen at the bottom tier. I don't get why everyone is just hating on Subway. I'm obviously not biased. Burger King and Taco Bell definitely deserve to be on the lower end, but I do have to mark Review of the Week down for putting Subway and Dairy Queen once again in the bottom. Don't get why everyone is not liking popular sandwiches. The last fast food tier list we'll be reviewing is Super Mega's tier list, solely because they put Pro Jared as one of the options. in the Super Mega video, hold on, they have Pro Jared as one of the options, and then just disappears after the burp. Just goes to show you that it's not hard to be a good person. At least they put Subway in the mid tier where I think it belongs. Super Mega, I'm gonna put them in the A tier just because they put Subway higher up. Next is Video Game Donkey's tier list about YouTubers. I'm gonna have to put that in the E tier because don't wanna say anything, but the video was missing quite a few of my favorite YouTubers. Max Mofo's hottest Pokemon tier list. Honestly, I'm not seeing anything wrong with it. Milk Tank in the S tier, all the sexy Pokemon in the A tier, and then the slightly less sexy in B tier, and Ditto, of course, being in the SSS tier because Ditto can be literally anything that you imagine. So Max Mofo's tier list, I'm putting in the SS tier for reasons. My buddy Weast did a tier list of memes. Everything looks good in this tier list. Rick Astley in the A tier and the Rage faces in the A tier. Now, when I was 12, those were the hottest Rage. This tier list was really good. It had all the memes in the appropriate spots, but I'm gonna have to mark you down some points, Weast, for not including Loss. Instead of the SS tier, you're just gonna go in the S tier. The next tier list we're gonna be looking at is by PK Spark XX, and he made a soda tier list. So he put Sprite, Sierra Mist, and 7-Up all in a very different category. He thinks Sprite's really good and 7-Up is just the worst. Here's the truth. Sprite, Sierra Mist, and 7-Up are all the same soda, so that they have to belong in the same tier list because they're the exact same soda. He put Dr. Pepper and Root Beer in the bottom tier, that is just wrong. Fanta in the S tier, like really, Fanta's better than everything else? I know it's just your opinion, but this is just my opinion, and it is the worst tier list that we have looked at so far. Then we have the video editing programs by Fire Sale. He put After Effects in top tier, Premiere just below After Effects, Sony Vegas again below that. Not sure what these two are, but I recognize Camtasia, which is, that is correct, that it is in the D tier, that is accurate. I'm happy with this tier list, so we're just gonna put it in the, we're halfway through. Yeah, it's in the SS tier. Next tier list is by Ted Nivison. He ranked milk. It looks like he put goat milk above almond milk, and If this was my tier list, I would put almond milk in the mid tier, putting it in the A tier. We need to talk about this one. Underscore Mason rated the Pokemon starters. He put Bulbasaur in the top tier and Mudkip in the top tier. Mudkip's understandable, but Bulbasaur top tier, really? And then look where he puts Charmander in the D tier. Huh? So if I was in charge of this tier list, I'd put that there. Trico in the A plus tier. These ones shouldn't really even be like on the tier list because we don't have all the information on them yet, so don't judge them. Obviously, if I was in charge, this tier list would be in the SS tier, but no, this was made by Underscore Mason, and he decided to be wrong about the Pokemons, so we're putting him in the bad tier list. Next is the Mario Kart track tier list by Z4 Gare. I see Rainbow Road in the S tier, which is good. So, you know, we're just gonna take his word for it. We're just gonna say that it's fine. It does seem like a far jump from A to D, but just know that D is right next to A in my eyes. We have the best Minecraft mob tier list by I Am Not TY. What I like is that he didn't just put the bad mobs in the bottom tier because he doesn't like them, and then the good mobs in the top tier because you do like them. The Enderman is just such a great enemy. I would maybe put him in the gods of Minecraft. He understands that creepers are important to the game, but he doesn't like skeletons. I guess that makes sense. Skeletons are just a common trope in video games. This list I'm going to put in the SS tier because I don't know. Next, we have a Disney movie tier list by Cosmodor. Now, I have a lot of things to say about this list. It's a good list, but it's not perfect. So in this list, at the top tier, he has Emperor's New Groove, Wreck-It Ralph, Lilo and Stitch, Moana, Treasure Planet, and Beauty and the Beast. Now, if you could tell by the way I said Moana, I don't really think that is an S tier. When I watched the movie, it was kind of predictable. The old people didn't have any wrinkles on them. And like, the story was fine. I thought the crab should have had a more important role. I thought if he was the main bad guy, that would have been a lot better. Treasure Planet in the top tier, do agree. That's a great movie. He put The Black Cauldron in the C tier, which in America is still passing. I remember watching it as a kid and thinking that it was okay. And then I remember hearing that The Black Cauldron like almost bankrupted Disney and it got the worst reviews out of all the Disney movies. I remember telling my friends this and being like, oh, you wanna watch the worst Disney movie? We watched it together, we put it on, and honestly, we didn't get through it. Like when I was rewatching it, I was just like, The big problem that I have is putting Bolt above all of these other great movies. But also, this is gonna upset some furries, but Robin Hood, not as good as you might remember. So I would put Robin Hood in probably the B or C tier. Pinocchio, I do remember not being impressed by it, even as a kid. I got no strings to hold me down. I'd put you in the C tier. It's whatever, everyone has their own opinions, but my opinion is that it's bad. Next is Zero's tier list for Super Smash characters in online mode. I know Zero is one of like the tournament really good players of Smash. Belongs in the S tier. He put Bowser in the top, which is my favorite character in Smash. So now all the tier lists we've been looking at so far have sort of just been fun, opinionated ones. It's like, here's what I think of fast food, and it's all just your opinion. Donkey's tier list was meant to not be taken seriously. I mean, he put Leafy in the top tier. It's like, okay, it's obviously a joke. But then you have people who are unironically making tier lists of real people. You can have your opinion about people's content, but then when you start making lists and saying these people are, in my opinion, better than these people, it kind of crosses the line into disrespectful, don't you think? And no, I'm not just making this video because whoever made this list put Domix ahead of me. Conversation that I had with some friends, I said, how does everyone feel about the tier lists popping up? Spoiler alert, I hate them. And my friend Rebecca says, I can only imagine how much those are messing with the heads of the smaller/younger artists. And that's really the whole point of the video. If you made one of these tier lists, I have blocked and reported you to the police. Just make this tier list go to the bottom here. You know what, maybe even like, yeah, there we go. Yeah, people can have their opinion about movies and fast food and Mario Kart tracks, but when you start having an opinion of real people, it's sort of disrespectful. And I think people forget that these YouTubers are real people, and seeing them literally ranked up against each other, it's kind of weird, don't you think? But the last tier list we're gonna look at is by TJ Tunes, where he puts all of us in the S tier. Now I know he's just doing it to be nice, but it's like, yeah, don't be literally ranking people don't be literally ranking people. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope that little last bit wasn't too preachy. If you were a tier list, you'd be S tier, that's for sure. Thank you all for watching. The next animation is gonna come out in a little bit because I'm very behind on it. I'm sorry, I got sick and other excuses, and I'm just really behind on the next video, so it might be a while before it comes out. Be sure to check out all the tier lists in the description, except for the ones that pit people against each other, and I'll see you in the next video. Wear your seatbelt!